To make a blanket of 70 centimeters per 90 centimeters, you will need 360 grams of yarn, scissors, a needle, a 4 mm knitting needles. You can use straight needles, but I recommend you to use circular needle at least of 80 centimeters. Remember, a 4 mm knitting needles and a 4 mm crochet hook to make the edges. Let's go with a step by step. Here you can see how to make the blanket. 70 per 90 centimeters. You have to start from one corner and you have to make increases at the beginning of each row to make like a triangle. Make increases at the beginning of each row to make like a triangle. Then you will have to make decreases in one side and increases in the other side to keep the blanket straight. And then make decreases on each row to continue making the other part of the blanket, making like a triangle again, and finishing at this point. You can start from any corner. So let's start the blanket from one corner. In this case I'm starting with the blue yarn, and you have to make a slip knot. And cast on 3 stitches, counting the slip knot. So cast on the stitches. You can use the way to cast on that you prefer. Once you have the 3 stitches, you have to start making the rows with increases. How to make the rows with increases? You have to knit 1, yarn over, and knit to the end of the row. So knit the 2 following stitches. Turn and make again a row with increases. Knit 1, yarn over, knit to the end, but when you find the yarn over of the previous row, you have to knit the yarn over taking the back loops. Knit to the end, turn again, and repeat the same. knit 1, yarn over, knit to the end of the row, remember knitting the yarn over, taking the back loops. And you have to repeat again the row of the increases. You have to knit 1, yarn over, knit to the yarn over of the previous row. You have to knit the yarn over taking the back loop, and knit the last stitch. Turn again, now you are in the right side. You have to make 4 rows in blue and 2 rows in white. Now you have to take the white yarn and make the first row in white. You have to repeat the same, the row with increases. You have to knit 1, yarn over, knit to the yarn over, knit the yarn over taking the back loop, and knit 1. Turn and complete the second row of the white yarn, making a row of increases. Remember, knit 1, yarn over, knit to the yarn over of the previous row, knit the yarn over taking the back loop, and knit the last stitch. Now you have to change again the yarn to the blue color and make again a row of increases. Remember, knit 1, yarn over, knit to the yarn over, knit the yarn over taking the back loop, and knit 1. Turn, repeat again 1 row of increases with the blue yarn, and now we have to make again 2 rows in blue. But you have to take the white yarn and cross the yarn at the beginning of the row to keep the white yarn at the same line of the blue yarn. So make the crossing and repeat again 2 rows in blue, making the increase at the beginning of the row. You have to repeat the same, making a triangle. You can see here the shape of a triangle. You have to repeat the same to have 70 centimeters in one side. Once you have 70 centimeters at the base of the blanket, you have to change now the stitches. Once you have 70 centimeters from here to here, to make the part of the rectangle, you have to make a decrease at the beginning of the row and an increase at the end of the row to keep the blanket straight. Start the decreases in a row of the right side. And you have to knit one, knit the two following stitches together but taking the back loops, knit two together taking the back loops, knit all the following stitches to have 2 stitches, once you are at the end, you have a yarn over. You have to knit the yarn over taking the back loop, yarn over, you have to make a yarn over to make the increase and knit the last stitch. Turn and the row in the wrong side, you don't have to make decreases or increases, you only have to knit the stitches. Remember to knit the yarn over taking the back loops. So you have to knit all the stitches. And once you are again at the right side, you have to knit one, make the decrease, remember taking the back loops, knit two together taking the back loops, knit to the end of the row, once you have only one stitch, you have to yarn over and knit one. This is a way to decrease in one side and increase on the other side. Remember, the rows in the wrong side, you don't have to make increases or decreases, you only have to knit all the stitches and remember to knit the yarn over taking the back loops. You can see in this side the part of the decreases, and on the other side you can see the straight edge made with the increases. You have to continue making decreases and increases at the beginning and at the end of the row. You have to continue making the same to have 90 centimeters from the bottom part to the top of the blanket. Now you have to start the third part of the blanket making decreases on each row. So to make the rows with the decreases, you have to knit one, knit the two following stitches together, remember taking the back loops, and knit to the end of the row. You don't have to make more decreases in this row, only one decrease at the beginning of the row. Knit to the end of the row. Turn and start the row in the same way that you made the previous row. Knit one, knit the two following stitches together, taking the back loops, and knit to the end of the row. You are decreasing now one stitch on each row, and you are making again the triangle shape. And remember to keep the same sequence of colors: 4 rows in blue, 2 rows in white. Here you can see better the shape of the triangle at the end of the row. Making decreases on each row, you are making the blanket smaller. Once you are at the end, once you have 4 stitches, you have to knit one, knit 2 together, knit one, turn, knit one, knit 2 together, and knit the 2 last stitches together, and you can cut the white yarn, and you don't have to cut the blue yarn. Now you have to take a crochet hook, a 4mm crochet hook, and now you have to make the edge. You can leave the blanket like this, but I prefer to make an edge. You have to make 1 single crochet on each change of line. You have to make 1 single crochet between the lines of the knit stitch. 1 single crochet around the blanket. Now you have to take the white yarn and you have to make the second edge, the second part of the edge, making the crab stitch. So make a single crochet on the previous stitch, repeat the same, a single crochet on the previous stitch. You have to go to the right instead of to the left, one single crochet on the previous stitch, and complete the row with the grab stitch. And you can cut the yarn and you finished the blanket.